It should be an oniony mess and delicious. This is exactly what I want in a burger. All right, we're recording. Welcome back to my channel for episode 2 of my cooking and wine show. Today we're making Oklahoma onion burgers, and I'm pairing it with this Côtes du Rhône wine from Guigal. This is a French wine, and the appellation is Côtes du Rhône. Comes from southeast France, and it's going to pair really excellent tonight with the burgers. Côtes du Rhône is exemplified by usually ripe fruit flavors because it's in a hot Mediterranean climate in France, and they develop red and black fruit characteristics. We're going to have this is going to be cherry, but also blackberry. And because of the grapes that it's made with, which is Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre usually, it's going to have a nice smoky component because of the Syrah. So it's going to be meaty and delicious and still have a good fruit flavor, despite the fact that it was grown in France, which is usually a little less ripe than somewhere like America, where the fruit flavors are dominant in wines. This is going to have a nice acid profile and a good tannin structure to compete with the fat in the burgers. I have 2 other options though to go with tonight's meal, though I'm not going to be opening them, but just some other ideas. This is a Chinon from France. Again, this is Cabernet Franc, and this is going to be a lighter style red wine as compared to the Côtes du Rhône. This is a little heavier than this, but this is a great weeknight red. All these wines actually are within kind of like $5 or $10 of each other. These 2 are usually between $15 and $20. And then this Decoy red here from California is usually between $15 and $25. This is a really nice, affordable red, great weeknight wine. It's going to be a lot smoother than the other wines because the tannins have become more ripe in California, although this was grown in north coastal California, so it's still going to have a good cooling influence from the coast, the breeze and the fog rolling in. So it's going to have good acid, or decent acid at least, and it's going to have a nice, well-developed fruit profile. So you're going to get things like black fruits like plum, blackberry, but still some red fruit characteristic to it. Merlot is a really excellent weeknight kind of wine to be having. I won't wait too long to pop this, but right now I have my pan preheating. We want to get that nice and hot before we put the burgers on. You can just pull these right off. Kind of a neat trick. They're heat shrink wrapped. This Côtes du Rhône should be pretty delicious with any kind of grilled meat. It's not maybe the ideal wine for something like a big steak, but I like it for any kind of barbecue-y, easy, big sear, grilled meat kind of things. Burgers, I think it's an amazing burger wine. And at like 15 bucks, pretty tough to beat that price for a weeknight bottle. Yeah, let's get our nose in there real quick. Oh, it smells nice. Nice. Oh yeah, that's real red fruity and plum. Got some nice cherry and a little bit of oaky spice backbone on there. It's going to open up nice, but it's already starting out good. This is going to be great with the burgers. Speaking of, I need to get those out of the fridge. And of course they're in the back. All right, so I have 85/15 ground beef for this recipe, which is going to be just a good fat to meat ratio for these burgers. It's not going to be too severe. It's not going to be too fatty and overwhelming, but it's going to be, in my opinion, exactly what I want. So for the Oklahoma onion burger, this is an interesting recipe that's become pretty popular online lately. you can see episodes of the Burger Show. I think it's the Burger Show with George Motes, and I mean he's got his own restaurant now. And this was one of the first places I saw this burger crop up. He does all kinds of excellent burger history if you're into that sort of thing. If you're as American as I am, you probably like the idea of history of hamburgers because you've probably eaten quite a few of these in your time. Hamburgers, that is. I don't know how many Oklahoma onion burgers you've had. I don't recall finding these very often at restaurants, but smash burgers are taking off lately, and this is a smash burger variant, so I wouldn't, be surprised if you saw these creeping around the U.S. outside of Oklahoma. To make an Oklahoma onion burger, it's actually really easy. You just need some beef, burger buns, and really thinly sliced onions. So that's what we're going for today. You can use a mandolin for this if you want it to be easy, but personally, I don't love cleaning my mandolin, and this is less work for me because I can just cut my onion slices thin to begin with. I'm also not terribly worried about service or, reaching some kind of Michelin star status. If you're doing this at a restaurant, I'm sure some kind of mandolin would be a lot easier to do this, to prep all these vegetables with. Getting thin, lacy onions is pretty key to this recipe though, because as you sear the one side of the patty, the steam softens up the onions on the other side, escaping the burger meat. And then you flip this over onto the other side and you get to sear the onions into delicious, slightly caramelized onions. They'll have the sear on them and some good caramel flavor, but they're not going to be that, that messy caramelized onion that people think of as the platonic ideal caramelized onion. But they'll be great nonetheless. Griddled onions. These are pretty thin. I'll take that. And you want a lot per burger. The suggestion I saw online was something like half an onion per burger. I'm using sweet onions today on mine. But we're gonna go crazy with the onions because I just like an oniony burger. This has been preheating on medium high. Let's see. Can actually preform these into balls. Make it a little easier to sear. Oh man, I love burgers. It's just an easy, convenient food, and it's like just maybe about the most American opinion I guess I could have. Good cheeseburger really is excellent. And they go with so many wines. The Côtes du Rhône, Merlot, and Cab Franc aren't the only wines that pair well with cheeseburgers. You could go with a lot of things because this is generally pretty light, and the way burger toppings work is you can change the characteristics of the burger by changing the toppings pretty severely. So the original idea for this recipe, I was actually going to make caramelized onions and have like a Swiss cheese burger, and that was going to go a little bit better with the Decoy Merlot because it's a little softer, got a little bit more plush character because it's been developed in that California sun for so long as compared to some of the other options, or the other two options I guess I presented, which are going to be more high acid European varieties. Like the Côtes du Rhône is a medium body, medium plus acid kind of wine, whereas the Decoy is going to be a medium plus body, but medium minus kind of acid wine. No screaming from the faucet yet. We love that. Got 5 good-looking burger balls ready to go. So the Côtes du Rhône, I was saying earlier, comes from southwest France in the Rhône Valley. along a river, and you can see it illustrated actually on this label. I don't know if you can see that, but maybe you can. If you look up Guigal, Côtes du Rhône, you'll see the label and it'll become apparent. So this Chinon is from the appellation of Chinon in the Loire Valley in France, which is central France. They have another river running up the valley. This is a very common thing with wine production. Rivers make temperatures a lot easier to moderate. And then the Decoy, like I said, was grown on the north coast of California. So it's not going to be as developed as not going to be as like overdeveloped as a Southern California wine. So it should have some decent acid to it because it's not as overripe. Let's go back in for. Yeah, this is really nice for 15 bucks. Love it. I really like Côtes du Rhône wines. They're made from a blend of grapes, Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre. And that's generally colloquially known as GSM. Those are just some of my favorite styles of wine. They're, oh, good. That's ready. So, did a little test on the pan, plenty hot. I'm gonna add a little oil for sticking insurance before these go down, but if you're using a griddle or some other kind of already slightly non-stick surface, you don't have to worry as much about this. But again, like I said, this is just insurance for me. Don't want to be missing our key production items. Okay, that's smoking, so let's get these on. Plenty of that salt on there, and then plenty of these onions on top. You know, maybe I went a little crazy with that, but we're going on. So it's easier if you have like a brick or something to smash these down with, but I'm just going with my fist today. You want that lacy, thin texture to it. We're looking for maximum crust here on the first side, so it's going to be a couple minutes sear. Didn't quite think the pepper thing through, but I'll just wash this off later. I want pepper on burg. That smells excellent. Oh yeah. Let's not forget the cheese, the other most important part of any burger. So I like American on my burgers generally. I think it's the easiest choice for a burger cheese. It melts well. I think I've maybe said this statement before, but the platonic idea of cheese on a burger, for me. But Swiss would be excellent. You know, there's so many options. I originally was going to do, like I said, caramelized onions, but I went with this because it's a little quicker to prepare. With the caramelized onions, you want a little softer of a wine to pair with that, I think. Although you could go with a higher acid red to stand up to how fatty that is. But if I was going to make a caramelized onion burger, I would add arugula and Dijon to it. Fancy it up a bit, I guess. That's why we have wine open, so we can drink it while our food cooks. Yeah. Cherry, blackberry. It's a really good spot for wine to be at. I think this would be a really great wine to have with any American barbecue too. The usual pairing for American barbecue is Zinfandel, which is an A+ wine in my book. I love Zinfandels, but we're not doing that today for the berg. Okay, this is going to be a trick to get up. Oh, we have liftoff. Okay. That's unfortunate. It's alright. You can't win them all. It's a little bit sad of a burger, but oh yeah, I need my buns. That's okay. So in every recipe for this online, they steam the buns on top of the burger as it's searing, which I think is a neat idea. So we'll get our buns steaming. It should be an oniony mess and delicious. This is exactly what I want in a burger. I did mention a little Dijon. This is mostly the mustard I keep in my house. It's not that I hate yellow mustard on anything, it's just I generally like Dijon a little bit more. So that's what I'm going with today. Get your bun slapped up with your favorite topping. We are almost ready to go. This is going to be a quick episode. I guess I don't have a lot to yak about. Those wines are all pretty good. You should check them out. They're all pretty affordable, easy to get into wines. Not really asking a lot of any of you or me. I think that duckhorn wine would pair maybe a little bit better with a pot roast or something along those lines. But like I said, the Swiss burger. Oh, we got a lot of lost soldiers over here. That's all right. Just add them on. Sneak them in. Oh yeah. All right. Try our burger and our wine together. It smells awesome. I love the smell of seared onions. Oh yeah. Yeah. Dijon is tight on there. And the smoky seared bits in the burger go so nice with the Syrah and the wine. Syrah adds a kind of peppery flavor to the wine. Syrah is a type of grape, if I didn't explain that before. But it has a peppery kind of quality to the wine blends that it's in. And I love Syrah because of that. This is cheesy and oniony and smoky. And the wine just goes so nicely with that. So, I mean, this is a quick one, really easy, quick weeknight dinner if you want to have wine with it, or just a chill weekend, you know? You could do this on the grill if you wanted. But would recommend Cab Franc Chinon. This is going to be an easy, lighter red. It's not going to have as much tannin, although it's going to be decently acidic to it as compared to, you know, the Decoy. The Côtes du Rhône is going to sit kind of somewhere in the middle between these two, as far as like, this is less developed, more high acid. This is kind of in the middle, and this is more developed, soft, plush, easy to drink. You know, no one's gonna punch your tongue with a lot of tannin or acid. But this has a nice blend of tannin and acid. Really great middle ground wine. Check it out. Eat this burger. It's freaking delicious. You won't be disappointed. Awesome. GG.